Police chases are supposed to be serious, a blur of flashing lights, roaring engines, and nail-biting drama, but sometimes real life has other plans. Every once in a while, an ordinary pursuit turns into a full-blown comedy sketch, complete with slow-motion escapes, runaway vehicles, and a cast of characters no movie studio could ever script. These are the top 10 hilarious police chases that went completely off the rails. Number 10 takes us to Florida, where a chase proved that speed isn't always the point. Officers in Tampa received a report about a reckless driver on the highway. When they arrived, they discovered their suspect, an elderly man on a mobility scooter traveling a whopping 8 miles per hour. Dashcam footage showed him rolling peacefully between lanes, completely unfazed by the lights and sirens behind him. When officers finally caught up, he looked over and said, "You could have just asked nicely." No one was hurt, but the clip quickly went viral as one of the slowest and funniest pursuits ever filmed. At number 9, Texas gave the world a chase straight out of a cartoon. A powerful gust of wind tore a 20-foot inflatable cow mascot from its restaurant stand and sent it bouncing down a busy highway. Police cruisers followed the runaway balloon, trying to block traffic while radioing. "Dispatch, the suspect is airborne." Dashcams caught the inflatable cow drifting over cars and street signs before gently landing in a parking lot. Locals still refer to the incident as the Great Steak Escape. Coming in at number 8, Los Angeles delivered a slice of comedy with a pizza-themed pursuit. In 2016, a delivery driver who had just lost his job decided to take one last joyride in his company car. For nearly an hour, he led officers across the city while tossing pizza boxes out the window. Helicopters filmed the whole trail of flying pepperoni as news anchors tried not to laugh. The chase ended peacefully outside a convenience store, where the driver parked, smiled, and offered the officers a slice. The clip was later titled The Great Pizza Pursuit. Number 7 comes from Iowa, where a man decided to take on the law with farm equipment. Deputies tried to stop him for a quick check, but instead he revved up his tractor and kept rolling. What followed was a 2-hour pursuit across country roads at a snail's pace. Spectators lined the road to watch, cheering as patrol cars trailed behind the slow-moving machine. At one point, the sheriff radioed in, "Be advised, suspect turning off-road very slowly." When the tractor finally stopped, the driver grinned and said, "Thought you were following me to the next farm." At number 6, Arizona delivered one of the calmest, funniest chases in recent memory. In 2020, hotel security spotted a man joyriding across a resort golf course in a stolen golf cart. Officers quickly joined the pursuit, also in golf carts. The result looked like a real-life comedy skit, flashing lights bouncing across the fairway as 2 carts zigzagged between palm trees. The suspect eventually got stuck in a sand trap and waved surrender. Officers helped him out and couldn't stop laughing as they drove everyone back to the clubhouse. Number 5 takes us to New York City's Times Square, where the city's most recognizable street performer, the Naked Cowboy, ended up turning his guitar performance into a full chase scene. In 2015, after wandering into a parade route, he found himself being politely escorted away by police. Instead, he jogged down the street strumming his guitar and greeting fans, shouting, "You can't rush the music." The officers followed closely behind, smiling the whole time. When it was over, the crowd applauded, and the clip made headlines as one of the most iconic and funniest moments in Times Square history. At number 4, Kentucky delivered what many call the slowest chase ever recorded. Late one night, officers asked a man doing yard work to stop after neighbors complained about the noise. Instead, he waved, hopped on his lawnmower, and rolled down the street. Officers followed slowly behind, lights flashing, barely breaking a jog. The chase lasted a few blocks until the mower ran out of power. The man stepped off, smiled, and said, "Guess I'm out of gas." Everyone laughed, and the video quickly became a viral favorite titled The Mower 500. Number 3 lifts off, literally. During a hot air balloon festival in Queensland, Australia, one man accidentally took off in a balloon meant for display. Police tracked the colorful balloon from below as it floated peacefully across the sky. The man waved down to people watching, shouting that he was fine and just enjoying the view. When the balloon finally touched down in a field, officers met him with smiles and applause. The news headline the next day read, "World's Slowest Getaway Ends Safely." At number 2, we head to Oregon for a chase that went viral for one simple reason. The driver wasn't human. Officers were called to a quiet neighborhood after a car was seen rolling in circles. When they arrived, they found a golden retriever sitting behind the wheel. Somehow the car had shifted into gear after the dog's owner stepped away for a moment. The car rolled gently gently to a stop against a mailbox. The officers helped the dog out and even gave him a treat. The official report read, driver identified as canine, fully cooperative. And topping the list at number 1, Georgia gave us a chase that's pure comedy gold. In 2023, deputies in a small town spotted a man who had converted his riding lawn mower into a mini drift car. It had headlights, a spoiler, and even neon underglow lights. When police tried to pull him over, he started spinning in circles in a parking lot, blasting country music from a speaker. These officers couldn't stop laughing as the mower drifted like a go-kart. When the chase ended, the man asked, "So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was that?" One officer replied, 10 for entertainment, but the hilarity doesn't stop there. In California, officers once tried to pull over a self-driving test vehicle that simply refused to stop. The car's sensors were still active, so it just kept rolling forward at a safe but steady pace. Police followed carefully behind until engineers remotely powered it down. One officer was heard on the radio saying, "Well, at least it followed all the traffic laws." The footage quickly became an online meme titled "The Robot That Refused to Run." Across the Atlantic, London gave us one of the most politely funny chases in history. A man somehow managed to start a parked double-decker bus and began driving it down the street, waving to pedestrians as if giving a tour. Police cars followed slowly behind, making sure everyone stayed safe. When the man finally pulled into a side road and stopped, he opened the door and said, "End of the line." Officers couldn't help but laugh, and neither could anyone watching. Colorado brought animal comedy back into the spotlight with a clip that spread across every social media platform. After a short pursuit, officers approached a car only to find the driver's seat empty and the man sitting calmly in the passenger seat. His dog sat behind the wheel. Without missing a beat, the man said he was driving. Officers laughed so hard they had to pause before finishing their report. The video became known as the Dog Did It chase. In Washington state, snowy hills became the scene of an unplanned chase with no driver at all. During a winter storm, a snowplow parked on a slope began sliding downhill by itself. Officers followed closely behind, their lights flashing through the falling snow as the plow spun slowly down the hill. It finally stopped against a fence, leaving a perfectly cleared trail behind it. Local news called it the most productive chase in history. Canada added its signature friendliness with one unforgettable moment in 2019. Officers in Alberta followed a man riding a horse through a drive-through coffee line. He waved to the patrol car, explaining that he was just grabbing a drink. The officers laughed, escorted him off the road, and the coffee shop rewarded everyone involved with free cups the next day. The story spread worldwide as the most Canadian chase ever. Nevada's desert street saw their own viral comedy in 2021 when a man on an electric scooter decided to test his luck weaving through light traffic. A tourist flying a drone captured the whole thing from above, turning it into an instant online sensation. The footage, perfectly framed against the setting sun, looked so cinematic that viewers thought it was staged. The chase ended peacefully when the scooter stopped, but the drone footage got millions of views within hours. Even small towns have their moments of accidental comedy. In Missouri, officers followed a runaway motorized shopping cart that had rolled out of a grocery store parking lot and down the main road. Patrol cars eased behind it until it coasted to a stop beside a lamppost. One officer radioed in, "Suspect in custody, cart secure." The clip later aired on local news under the headline, "The Great Grocery Getaway." And finally, these unbelievable moments remind us that police work isn't always high speed and high stress. Sometimes it's lighthearted, funny, and completely unpredictable. Behind the sirens and flashing lights are people with a sense of humor and a world that never stops finding new ways to surprise them. These were the top 10 hilarious police chases that went completely off the rails. Proof that sometimes laughter outruns everything.